Is that really all you're worth? That is what it comes down to? Some crow's feet, 11s, and some wrinkly skin? Is that all you are? I would argue no. Are you tired of looking in the mirror and hating what you see? Tired of wondering if your stomach looks fat during sex or avoiding being naked altogether because of the way you talk to yourself? Are you tired of being confident in public while secretly picking yourself apart in private? Good. That's why you're here. Welcome to Your Unapologetic Life, your go-to guide to feeling confident in your body, comfortable naked, and in love with sex. I'm your host, Morgan Barkis, author, speaker, exotic dance instructor, and empowerment coach for women. I earned my master's in marriage and family therapy while stripping to pay for graduate school, and guess what? I loved the work so much, I danced for over a decade. Now I coach women who are ready to flip the negative self-talk, rewrite the stories that have kept them playing small, and finally feel powerful and sexy in their bodies. All without strict diet plans, soul-crushing workouts, or another Cosmo-style 5 tips for the best sex of your life list. This isn't positive affirmation confidence. This is confidence embodied. This podcast isn't about becoming someone new. It's about stepping into the most unapologetic, pleasure-filled version of you. If you're looking for a judgment-free space to talk about sex, beauty standards, trauma, pleasure, and power, you're in the right place. And if you're looking for sugarcoating or PG conversation, this probably isn't the show for you. Whether I'm flying solo or bringing you raw, honest conversations with powerful women, every episode is designed to help you ditch the insecurities, reclaim your body, and start living like the unapologetic woman you were meant to be. So turn up the volume, listen at 1.5 speed while you're doing other things, and strap in for this wildly unapologetic ride, because I'm a crazy driver. Aging can be intimidating, it can be not fun, and you can defy aging if you want to. It's happening whether you like it or not, and I cannot help but think about my parents when I think about defying aging. Eventually, I will interview them. My podcast is for women by women, so I do these solo episodes, and then I also have people on my podcast, usually other women, doing amazing things in this world that have conquered amazing things, accomplished amazing things, gotten over amazing things, and have a story to tell. That being said, one of my listeners asked about interviewing my parents, and she is from my hometown and has seen my mom and dad in the wild. And she said, "Would you ever have your parents on to talk about vitality? They're just so vibrant and don't seem to age, and they seem happy and energetic, and I'd be curious about what their secret is. I've been researching how to live longer in a healthy, energetic, vibrant way. And I'd love to hear what your parents are doing." And they are my shining stars for many reasons. I mean, if you go to my Instagram, lately I've been wanting to post more about my coaching and what exactly I do, because if someone goes to my Instagram, I want them to instantly see what it is that I do and who I am and get to know me quickly. And if you scroll enough on the Instagram, you'll see mostly pictures of me with my parents and or my dog. And I travel a lot with my parents. I am 45, single, and extremely close to my parents. We kind of were always besties. I have a brother, and he's also very close to my mom and dad, and he has a life partner. He and his wife have been together since they were 19 years old. He's a couple years younger than me. They have 2 beautiful kids who are now teens and young adults and have boyfriends and girlfriends, and they've really created a wonderful life for themselves. I do a lot of things solo, and or with the parents. And so we've traveled together and had a lot of laughs and a lot of life experience. One of my favorite memories as I'm recording this podcast, I'm looking at 3 photos that I had um, printed on canvas that are on the wall, and it's from a trip. They came to visit me when I lived in South Florida. So after I lived in South Florida for a few years and then moved to California for a little over a year for a job opportunity. And I missed Florida so much. And I was able to go back for a different job opportunity, same company, and move back to South Florida. And shortly after I moved back, they came to visit and they stayed for 2 weeks. And I would go to the office during the day and then we would spend the evenings together and we would explore on the weekends. And we just have a lot of fun. They love to laugh. My dad loves to talk to strangers, and so does my mom, let's be real. And they're very, very vibrant. At this point, they are 71 years old, both very, very healthy, on 0 medications. They have aches and pains and joke that it's hell to get old and you just wait, my mom will say, because I have peripheral spondyloarthritis, which is a genetic autoimmune thing. It's a cousin to rheumatoid arthritis, and probably got it from the mama. She has always had bad knees and some arthritis, so I'm sure I got it from her. And we grin and bear it, and neither one of us have had to have a knee replacement. And she's still going strong at 71 years old, as is my dad. My mom is still riding her horse, and my dad is out in the woods with the chainsaw, and he cuts wood that they can get through the whole winter. He's got this wood burning situation where he heats the whole house in the hot water and all that through this wood burner, and he cuts all the wood that goes into this thing. And when it's really cold, he's filling that wood boiler 3 times a day, if not more, with these 4-foot logs. Anyway, I say all that to say, very active people. I mean, if you followed my parents around on the farm at the Barkus Ranch for a day, especially in the spring and summer, it would be exhausting. I mean, it's nonstop. The projects. I always joke. My dad will say, "Oh, I'm working on this and I'm working on that." And I'm like, "You and your projects." And if he doesn't have a project, he comes up with a project. And that is how you defy age. In my opinion, it's having a sense of humor about it, because it is what it is. It is happening whether you like it or not. The train is on the tracks and it is moving. It is like physics. Um, what is it? An object in motion stays in motion. And that's time. It is in motion and it's not slowing down. And as you get older, it feels like it's going even faster. And that's true being in my 40s. And my parents have definitely said it goes even faster as you get older. And I feel like people freak out about getting older, and women are pressured to stay young, look young, and spend a lot of time and money not feeling like they're ever enough. Their skin isn't smooth enough, shiny enough, young enough, tight enough. And my parents, neither one of them have done any work. No fillers, no fixes, no diets. I mean, I grew up Polish on both sides. We are a meat and potatoes family. My mom, not as much as my dad and I. We could eat potatoes with every meal. I would say it comes in terms of define age. I can't wait to have them on the podcast. I will eventually have La Mama and Dad on the podcast because they are vibrant. They have lived a simple yet very active life full of laughing and loving. And so I would say multiple things. One, have a sense of humor about aging. It's happening whether you like it or not. And joke about it. And don't dwell on it. power through it. My mom told me a story about I can't remember where she heard this story, but it was some older lady or something. And she went to get a checkup or talk to a orthopedic surgeon or something. And then something came up about her arthritis. And she said, "What arthritis?" And it's like, it just is what it is. And you keep going and you do what you can. My mom has never been able to do squats, so she doesn't do squats. She's on the water rower and she's doing her pull ups and she's walking on the treadmill way too fast and holding on as she goes, trying to read at the same time. I mean, she doesn't, she knows what she can do and she does what she can do. Same with my dad. I mean, he did actually end up having a knee replacement a little over a year ago. He was a plumbing contractor his entire life. The dude was hard labor. And then at the Barkus Ranch, like I said, was always working on some project. And I mean, we farmed not for a living, we farmed for the animals. Mom and dad have 4 horses, and that kept them really busy. So, again, I would say there is a sense of humor and a powering through, not letting outside people tell you what you can and cannot be. And you know your own limitations and you work around those. You don't play the victim, you power through what you are capable of. And I would say they don't necessarily act their age. Like, even my mom will say now she gets it, what her dad used to say before he passed. He would say, I know my body is a lot older. My mind still feels quite young. And so it's true. I mean, you are this soul, and your body is driving that soul around. It's the car driving your soul around, and it is going to break down. Cars take wear and tear, and you can only put so many miles on them, and then they don't go anymore. That doesn't change your spirit and your attitude and your perspective. And so, again, you can be cognizant and honor your body's limitations physically. That doesn't mean you have to play into the negativity that is around aging. You don't have to buy into that. And that even includes how you dress. My mom's got a funky, awesome haircut. Again, go to my Instagram. You can see. My dad keeps his hair long, even though he doesn't have as much of it as he used to. He's rocking a cowboy hat. They're both rocking chunky turquoise jewelry. My dad's got his cowboy boots on. My mom's always wearing some funky, cool shoes and a great outfit with great patterns that fit her body type. Um, they're just stylish people. I mean, think about that lady. I mean, she passed what, in her 90s? Or did she make it? I think she made it to over 100. She was super stylish. I think she got her first modeling contract when she was in her 90s. I mean, she had a fantastic sense of style. Hers was very colorful, big earrings, big glasses, loud patterns, and mixing and matching patterns. And she was awesome. And she, yes, looked older. And so she still dressed up the way that she wanted to make herself feel vibrant and alive. So again, sense of humor, perspective, knowing your limitations and powering through anyway, not stopping just because you can't do as much. Like, I remember when I had my second, I had 2 knee surgeries in my history, and one was on my left knee. That one was easy breezy. I had an osteochondral defect. Did I say that right? Anyway, a piece of bone chipped off, and it was really way bigger than usually these situations are. I think he said that they're usually, the dude that pulled it out, he said, yeah, they're usually like millimeters. And he goes, yours was like centimeters. It was huge, but it was floating around in my kneecap. And he plucked it out and I was good to go. Well, the other knee, the right knee, not as much. I don't know what was going on with that thing. And after surgery, I was like a million times worse. And I struggled. I couldn't work out. I couldn't lift weights. I only could walk very, very slowly on the treadmill. I could only do my PT. And even through that, I would cry because it hurt. And I didn't like that I was so limited. And I didn't stop moving. And then it finally got better slowly and slowly. And then I started doing yoga and I cried then because I couldn't stand on one leg because the holding my own body weight felt almost impossible, and I kept going, and then that got better. You know what your limitations are, and you dodge and weave, like, your body changes, so change with your body. You're like, can only do maybe CrossFit for so long, and then you're like, "You know what? It's okay that I have to hang this up. Let me go do something else and take something else up that is not as abusive on your body." So know your limitations and don't stop. Don't be stubborn and just say, "Well, now I can't do anything or I can't do this one thing, so I'm gonna give up." They have a workout room in the house, right? So all growing up, they always had the little treadmill and the water rower and the weight rack and things like that. And no shame in the game. My dad can't lift as much with the free weights as he used to, and he's still doing it. And he maintains his good form, and he does what he can. And they go in there in the mornings and do their little workout after they've had a protein rich breakfast, and they eat really healthy. I come from a family that eats from the earth. It's like meat and potato veggie for dinner. That's what you're going to have if you come to the Barkus Ranch. It's something on the grill, potatoes, and a veggie. I mean, that's just how it always was. And I will say my parents don't like to drink water. They have a lot of alternatives. So it's, some kind of sparkling water or the kombuchas and things like that. So they try to drink enough. My mom's got her like Willie's tea, and dad and I, we love our coffee. I mean, so they really take care of the body, mind, and then the spirit piece and like mental health. They I notice they're happiest and most vibrant when they're going and connecting with other people. Like if they're going to go see my nephew play basketball, and they're chatting with other people that are there, and they're sitting with my brother and his wife, and they're around my niece and nephews who are now, like I said, young adults, and so they have friends, and so they're mixing and matching with all these people, and that keeps them engaged. And then when they get on the phone with me, they have funny stories. And I really think it's a matter of staying social and trying new things. Years and years ago, my dad made a comment. I don't even know if he remembers he made this comment, because sometimes I'll be like, "Dad, that was really wise. You remember when you told me this?" And he's like, "I said that? That's pretty good." I'm like, "Yes, you did tell me that." One time years ago, I was in high school, and you know how teenage girls can already be moody. God forbid we have a bad face day. That's what I used to call it. If I had any kind of spot on my face, it was a bad face day, and it was a bad day. And I must have been in some kind of hideous mood one morning, and my dad, before I got my driver's license and would drive my brother and I to school, he would drop us off to school on his way to a job in the morning. And so we'd be in his plumber work van driving to school. And before we left, I must have been wearing like brown or gray sweater or something, just something drab and dreary. And he looked at me and he goes, "Your outfit matches your mood. Go change." And I was like, "Tell me what to do." But now I always, if I'm in a mood, it's like bright blues, pinks, reds. I'm pulling out the colors if I need a mood boost, usually pink or red. Um, so he's got some wisdom. But years ago, he said, I think I was in college or something. And it was so interesting because, I went to a pretty small high school in a small Wisconsin town. And then I moved to Minnesota to go to college. And I went to school at a small college, and still there were people from all over the world that went to this school. And I was a part of the diversity center. And so a lot of my friends were from all over the world. And I brought home pictures, and then they got to meet some of my friends at some point. And my dad said, "Isn't it cool that like your kids make you already have like a circle of friends and people and then because of your kids, your circle gets bigger, and you just get to meet even more people." That's how he is. You take my dad anywhere. And one time we went out to dinner, my mom and dad and I, in my hometown, and we sit down at the table, and dad's like, I'm gonna go to the bar and make my rounds. He just went person to person, talking to everybody, just checking in with everybody. I mean, he just it keeps him alive. It keeps the parents engaged, and so you want to engage your mind. And it's so important to stay social and around other positive people. I mean, it's hard. Not everybody's always positive. There are always some negative Nancy's that you probably and you care about, and you may want to limit your time around. And it's hard depending on what's going on in the world too. I mean, it's not like things don't happen in the world that make you feel heavy or sad, or things that even hit closer to home that might happen in your family. You lose somebody or somebody's going through something. You can't help but get down sometimes. And a positive disposition is a choice, and really focusing on what is going well and what you are grateful for. I would say that I notice my mom, especially out loud, she'll reflect on the things she's really grateful for. Like, I'm so happy about this, or I'm so grateful I have that, and it's little things, because it's just like your time is going so fast. Whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 70s, it's going fast. The days go fast. And sometimes, especially if you're still working, a lot of that day is sucked up with work. And so it's not exactly sunshine and rainbows party time. It's earning a living so you can pay your bills and put a roof over your head and some clothes on your back and drive around and hopefully take a vacation or three, and so it's really appreciating those little things and those times. So I would say define age has nothing to do with anti-aging stuff. You're not going to be on your deathbed and be like, you know what? I'm really glad that I spent as much money and time as I did doing the Botox and the fillers and the surgeries and the facelifts and the obsessing that my skin is crinkly. Do you think really at the end of all of this that that's what you're going to care about? No. You're going to care about the laughs you had and the people you loved and the sex you had and the good food you ate, the places you got to see and the memories you made while you were there. And you're not going to worry about what you looked like during that time. I think about a girlfriend of mine who unfortunately lost her mom to cancer, and her mom was always fighting her weight and wishing she was thinner. And then when she was dying and she couldn't keep weight on it and she was a bag of bones, she shared with my friend, I would do anything to go back and be the healthy, thick woman I was then. It didn't matter. Her obsession with what she saw as a flaw was such a waste of time and resources, energy, mental health, emotional health, probably money. And it really is so much more than that at the end of the day. And I know you can't always sit around every single day and be like, okay, if this was my last day on earth, what would I care about? I get it. It's always relative. When we were kids, my brother and I, if we didn't want to eat something, mom would say, well, there's starving kids in Africa. Well, okay, yes, and I don't like peaches and cottage cheese. Now, ironically, now I do. Cottage cheese is a a great source of probiotics and protein. I'm a fan. Give me some peaches and cottage cheese. When I was a kid, you couldn't make me touch it. My brother was mushrooms. He fucking hated mushrooms. Now he gets the sauteed mushrooms on his steaks. What are you going to do? And it's relative. So again, you can't think about how you're going to die every day. Maybe you do. When you're freaking out about something, I mean, I heard a woman on a podcast say, I am having a very hard time with aging. And I mean hard. Like, I need a therapist about this. Like, I feel like I'm going to be alone forever. No one's ever going to find me desirable. Like, she looks in the mirror and it's like she sees a monster or something. I don't know. Those are not her words. I'm just exaggerating on maybe what she's feeling. I don't know. This is horrible. I look horrible. I'm ugly. I'm undesirable. I look, I mean, people say some really mean things to themselves. It's unbelievable. It's like, would you say that to your best friend or your sister? Because that is really mean what you just said to yourself. Maybe you do need that gut check, that reality check when a thought like that comes up that, wait a second, is this true? Is this absolutely true that I look horrible? No. And what is important? What, you know, if I didn't think this, who would that woman be? And what would the thought be if I said something really nice to myself instead of something super nasty? Food for thought. Food for thought. Defying aging, again, doesn't have anything to do with surgeries and shooting things into your face and getting a knee lift. Yes, Nikki Glazer. On a podcast, I heard her say she's gone under the knife and she has considered a knee lift. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me. It makes me think of the movie Eat, Pray, Love, and the scene where Julia Roberts' character is with that young lady and they're eating pizza. And she's like, oh my God, I'm having a love affair with my pizza. And the girl she's with wasn't eating. She's like, what's going on? What's wrong? She said, I can't. I put on 10 pounds since I moved here. My jeans are fighting. She goes, I got this thing. And she goes, what's it called? And Julia Roberts' character says, a muffin top. And she kind of smiles. And the girl's like, yeah, a muffin top. And she's like, please tell me, have you ever gotten naked in front of a man? She said something like, have you ever taken your clothes off? Or can't remember what she said. But basically, have you ever gotten naked in front of a man? And he's like, hey, I can't do this. Like, I think I've changed my mind. This is just disgusting. And she's like, no. And then that's the reality. Like, really? All this that you look at yourself and you see and say all these horrible things to yourself because you're getting older. Is that really all you're worth? That is what it comes down to? Some crow's feet, 11s, and some wrinkly skin? Is that all you are? I would argue no. And I'll be the first to say, I notice that shit. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, yikes. Especially in the winter, my skin gets real dry. I prefer a tropical climate. Sign me up. I will move to Miami yesterday if I could. And I want 95 degrees and 90% humidity, please. And there's a moment where I'm like, yikes. Don't love this situation. Well, then get a better moisturizer and get a humidifier. That's what I did. We just can very quickly, if we want to, if we choose to, get out of those negative thoughts and turn that frown upside down. And it's work. It's the work that I put in. It's the work I do with the women I work with. We have been programmed to think a certain way, reach a certain metric, serums, creams, surgeries, shots. It's nonstop. It is nonstop. Other people telling you. 10 years ago, I had a lady that waxed my eyebrows and told me it was time for Botox. I said, according to who? I'm good. No thanks. I'm good on that. And I could have been like, oh my God, does she think I look old? Am I looking old? And then like every time I'm in the car, I pulled on the the visor thing, and how come I can't think of the name? You know what I'm talking about. And I look in the mirror and go, oh my God, am I getting old? I am getting old. Look at those 11s. You think I don't see that? Of course I do. But I know that's not my worth. So define age is your choice. And I understand it's not as easy as turning on a light switch. It takes work. It took me years to get all over my insecurities and all my negative self-talk. And now that's what I do with the women I work with. It can happen very quick. And sometimes that programming runs deep and it takes a little longer. And that's okay. I'm over here. I'm your cheerleader. I got a girlfriend of mine. She's like, Morgan, you've been a cheerleader all my life. I've been knowing this girl since we were in high school. And I said, yes. And I will never stop cheering you on and building you up because that is what I do. I think that is my superpower, to be honest. Sometimes I get asked, and like icebreakers and stuff like that. And they're like, what's your superpower? I was like, my superpower is my energy. I like being around other women and building them up, and it's usually pretty effective. If you are interested in being in my orbit, make sure you follow me on the Instagram. You follow me on the YouTube. All you have to do is search YouTube, Morgan Barkis, Instagram, Morgan Barkis, Spotify, Morgan Barkis. But if you're listening to this, you probably already know I'm on the Spotify. Get in my orbit. Go ahead and take some of my energy. DM me. If you want to ask me a question, you want to share something with me, I am here for you always. I am here for it with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If today's episode hit you in your heart and left you feeling empowered, please do me a favor and leave a review on Spotify or Apple. It helps more than you know, and it makes it easier for other women to find this show and feel less alone. And if you're feeling bold, screenshot the episode and share it on your stories or DM it to a girlfriend of yours. Getting the word out is how we grow this unapologetic movement. This podcast exists because women like you are pure magic. And feeling confident in your body isn't something you earn, it's something you decide. You can keep holding yourself back, or you can start living out loud. Dress how you want to dress, chase the dreams that light you up, prioritize your pleasure, and fully enjoy the delicious, messy, powerful experience of being a woman. Until next time, get at me in the DMs. I always love hearing from you.